What is up, everybody? Daniel Rock08 back again on a video. This time, I'm going to talk to you about one of my most favorite shows of all time. The 2002 Survivor Series. It's one of the greatest shows of all time, in my opinion. And if you looked up and you remember my top 25 greatest pay-per-views of all time, I gave Survivor Series number 3, I believe. So, let's start it out. From Madison Square Garden in New York City, this is Survivor Series 2002. And we have the brand extension, Raw! Eric Bischoff's Raw versus Stephanie McMahon SmackDown. Now, a little bit of backstory here. After the hellish of All Hell in a Cells, Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker from No Mercy. Check it out. Good stuff. Check it out from my review a long time ago. Eric Bischoff decided to one-up Stephanie McMahon and do not an Armageddon Hell in a Cell. No. He decided to create a gigantic, brand new structure, a brand new match. It's more than just, it's not just War Games, it's not just Survivor Series, but it's everything it's everything. It's the Elimination Chamber, 32 tons of unforgiving steel. And it is awesome. And then we have Brock Lesnar versus Big Show for the WWE Championship. We have the SmackDown 6 tearing it up with the SmackDown Tag Team titles. We have Jeff, Bubba, and Spike Dudley taking on 3-minute warning, cruiserweight title match, and a women's hardcore. That's right, a hardcore women's title match. And we also get the return of Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Give me a fucking mic. This is the 2002 Survivor Series. My God, was it awesome. We start off with Jeff Hardy, Bubba, Spike Dudley versus 3-minute warning. That's Rosie Jamal with Rico. And this was famous because of the infamous botch where Jeff Hardy is just lying down. He's sleeping like crazy because he just put his body through Rosie, through a table, off a Swanton bomb. And we get this match. And we get this epic botch. Well, Rico's just standing there dancing around on that corner turnbuckle post. He says, "Hurry up, goddammit. Hurry up, Jeff, goddammit." Hilarious. Devon Dudley comes out, 3D, and the Dudley Boys and Jeff Hardy wins in a great 6-man elimination tables match. Good stuff. I give it a 7 out of 10. Next up, we have the Cruiserweight title match. Not today's Cruiserweight division. Today's Cruiserweight division sucks. And we have the innovators of the WWE's version of the Cruiserweight. We have Jamie Noble and Billy Kidman, two today's agents. And this was a very entertaining match. You have Nikki Nidia there. And this was a stellar Cruiserweight title match. I love it. The Shooting Star Press, only Billy Kidman can do. Good stuff. A 7.5 out of 10. Greatness. Then we have the hardcore match for the Women's Championship. Trish Stratus versus Victoria. This what made the Ruthless Aggression Women's Division so damn good. Because, yeah, sure, you had your non-wrestling eye candy women who were better than today's eye candy women. Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler on SmackDown, sure. On Raw, however, you had Trish Stratus, you had Lita, you had Victoria, you had Molly Holly, you had Ivory, who just left, unfortunately. You had Jazz, you had one hell of a roster of credible women. And Jacqueline was still there. And Trish Stratus versus Victoria, they had a very fine, hardcore, that's right, hardcore women's title match. Victoria was also in a steel cage match with Lita. That's how great the Ruthless Aggression was. Sure, they still had, sure they still had bra and panties matches, and sure they still had mud bath matches, but they had a hardcore match here, and it was great. A 6.5 out of 10. Next up, we have the SmackDown 6 for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Triple Threat Tag Team. We have Edge and Rey Mysterio versus Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle versus Los Guerreros. That's Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero. This was awesome. Awesome. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, that, bitter enemies. Bitter enemies trying to get along to be the tag team champions. They did win the tag titles from No Mercy. However, they lost it to Edge and Rey Mysterio, who are your current tag team champions heading into this match. This was just an outstanding match. The SmackDown 6 in the later half of 2002 and the early half of 2003, they were the reasons why SmackDown was the A show. Not the B show, not the alternative. No, they were the A show. They were the best show. They were the better show. And they were the best wrestling in town. Because you had Brock Lesnar, because you had Big Show, because you had The Undertaker. And you had all these SmackDown 6 guys. And just like all matches they produced, this is their most finest match all 6 of them has produced together. This is a great match. 5 stars. 10 out of 10. Awesome. As Los Guerreros last eliminates Eddie, as Eddie and Chavo last eliminates Edge and Rey Mysterio in a stellar match. 10 out of 10. Next up, we have the WWE Undisputed Championship match. Brock Lesnar, the next big thing, taking on The Big Show. And this is, in my personal opinion, the greatest WWE Championship match that's under 5 minutes. 4.5 minutes this match was. 4.5 minutes this match was. I say it again, this match was 4.5 minutes. And Brock Lesnar was German suplexing him back to Kingdom Come. Have Brock Lesnar German suplexing him and F5ing him like he was a fucking child, Big Show. That's incredible, and this was back before we had John Cena FUing him. Attitude adjusting him, in the Ruthless Aggression spirit here. Doing it 1,000 times. Brock Lesnar F5's Big Show, but then all of a sudden, here comes the referees down. Paul Heyman pulls the referee, screws over Brock Lesnar, which we're supposed to forget about, by the way, now. And Big Show becomes the very first man to beat Brock Lesnar in his very first run that he had. Big Show is the new undisputed WWE champion, and this was about 4.5 minutes. And my God, it was great. I give it a 7 out of 10. Yes, it was short. 7 out of 10. It deserves it. Maybe if it was 10 minutes, and maybe it wasn't for the little screwy finish short, it would have gotten 8. But for 4.5 minutes, a 7 does it good. And lastly, we have the Elimination Chamber match. Booker T, Chris Jericho, Kane, Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam, and Triple H, the World Heavyweight Championships on the line. Triple H is, of course, in his reign of God era. He is the world champion, and this is just awesome. Triple H damn near almost dies because of a knee drop from the pod from Rob Van Dam. Almost killed Triple H, quite frankly. Rob Van Dam gets eliminated. And Booker, then Kane, then Chris Jericho. Comes down between Shawn Michaels, a bloody mess, versus Triple H in a bloody mess. Shawn Michaels, who just had the greatest comeback of all time. And he... Sweet Chin Music in the same building in Madison Square Garden, the same building which 6 years earlier in the same show, in the same building that he fought against Sid, he was being booed out of the building. But that was the boyhood dream, Shawn Michaels. Now this is the comeback kid. This is the second coming of Shawn Michaels. This is Jesus boy here, Shawn Michaels. And he has the greatest comeback of all time in WWE, in my opinion. Shawn Michaels defeats Triple H and everyone else in the Elimination Chamber match and becomes the World Heavyweight Champion in one of the greatest matches in Survivor Series history. Maybe the greatest match in Survivor Series history. The Elimination Chamber match has to get a 10 out of 10. It's stellar. Overall, Survivor Series 2002 is one of my most favorite shows of all time. This show is incredible. A women's hardcore match. You have a cruiserweight title match with the SmackDown finest people. You have the SmackDown 6, and an absolute incredible match. You have a tables match. You have the finest WWE title match under 5 minutes, and you have an Elimination Chamber match for the ages. Plus, not to mention, you also get the return of Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Give me a fucking microphone. Give me the fucking mic. This was awesome. This was awesome. And it's one of the greatest shows of all time. Definitely a top 5 greatest shows of all time. Overall, due to the matches, I give Survivor Series 2002 an 8.5 out of 10. And just one of the greatest shows of all time. And I'll catch you next time for another review. And this. Catch it next time for my new video on Daniel Rock 08. Like, comment, and subscribe, motherfuckers. Give me a fucking mic. Now before the game is over.